listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.
I can just draw the 6 clubs, and Eddie is drawing the 3 hearts. All right, so before we started earlier, reminder, if you would like some questions, or you have a question you'd like to answer, please find Mark Meyer. Say this here, but we can go back and private on questions to our museums, to our contact at 8 o'clock. So
all these shifts directly into the microphone so that the audience as well as
first question. First question is, everybody gets a minute for their intro. We're going to start live. 1 minute, sir.
My name is Ivan Ramirez, Ivan Ramirez, I'm a teacher here at Lakewood. I worked at SWEC for about 8-9 years. Education, currency, and data collection for the city. So then I was involved for national student. But overall, just trying to bring some serious to the field. Here in Sealand.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Thank you all. Too bad they disallowed props. I had a heck of a soccer coach. But my name is Eddie Rodriguez. I've been on the city council now for 10 years. I'm born and raised right here in Carlsbad. I've got an associate in applied science and welding technology with welding certification from this college right here. So I've got these in this college. I've been married to a beautiful woman for 44 years now. Look at her, I married her when she was 7. But I'm very proud of the life we've had. Thankful to Carlsbad for the opportunity to raise them. One of them has come back to me, Jason and his wife, Leslie, and my beautiful granddaughter, Michelle. Opened up Desert Bloom Dermatology here in Carlsbad. They felt like this was the place they wanted to live in their child. So I'm very proud of them. Glad to have them here, and I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Murphy?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Norbert Tremper. I'm a candidate for City Council Ward 4. May I have a show of hand? Who is from Ward 4 in this audience? I would think most people don't even know which wards they are in. But I'm not going to start with saying that I'm not a politician, because I obviously aspire to political office. And I think a good idea to start with politics is to start with a Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And then it says to secure those rights, governments are instituted. That is for me the rock bottom of what governments are there for. And I think the federal government has not really secured the right to life. It has gotten a little better with the repeal of the pro-abortion decision of the Supreme Court. But the state government is completely against the right to life, and that's where I think the local level needs to jump in.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here at this forum. My name is Mark Walterscheid. I've been on City Council for about 5.5 years now. Enjoyed it immensely. I really enjoy the things that we get into. It's very enjoyable to me. I've been a business owner for the last 37, 38 years, Garden Mart. We do a lot of different things. We're landscape contractors. We've changed through the years. My wife, Mary, from many years ago, a lot of people, everybody in Carlsbad knew that lady. She was a florist. And if you didn't know her, you didn't live here. But anyway, she passed away. I am now married to Lisa, who is a barrel racer, and she's my political advisor. I get all my political advice from her. So if it's all wrong, it's all due to her. But anyway, she's...
All right, we're going to go ahead and go into our questions that each of the candidates will answer. So, John?
Another reminder about one is to respond to this question. Eddie, Rodriguez, we're going to start with you. All of that in the entire state has certainly been admitted for more than yes. Some residents are concerned about drilling taking place too close to city limits. How do you balance economic growth with safety concerns as related?
A few years back, I don't remember the exact date, maybe 2004, we had a blowout out by my house. My family had to evacuate from the area, and there were a number of things that had to be done. At that time, Mayor Bob Forrest put me on the task force with the oil and gas industry to make sure that we address the issues and concerns, that we talk to the oil companies, talk to the residents, talk to state people on how and where that mine safe is. And we determined that 500 feet is where it should be. We believe that's safe. I would still defend that. And I think it's well debated, well discussed, and well decided.
Mr. Rick, any questions?
I'm actually in the happy position to have worked in the oil industry for a while. It was during the Stone Age 40 years ago. But still, I know that oil and gas can be produced very safely and is being produced by most people extremely safely. Accidents happen everywhere. If you have driven on any kind of highway, you know that. I believe, though, that a much bigger problem than the problems that anyone thinks the oil industry is causing is that we are actually murdering our preborn children in this state with the encouragement of state government, and we really need to do something about that on the local level. Therefore, I count prenatal children among my constituents, just like anyone else counts children among their constituents. We don't consider constituents only those people who vote for us. So that is actually my biggest safety concern.
Yes, I'm from Ward 4, for those of you that are from Ward 4. And guess what? I've gotten a lot of calls. We have a lot of drilling activity to the east of us. They're fracking wells, which is fine. It's okay. I think the industry they're doing everything within the law, and that's all fine. But we need people to stand up to what's going on. If you heard the noise that's near my house and my constituent's house, it's unacceptable. I've talked to Ernie Carlson about who to contact and how we can progress to control the noise. It is beyond that. So I'm gonna deal with that. We have, and also as far as drilling rigs and how close they can be, I don't think half a mile is too close. I think it should be further away. It's too close. 300 feet, I believe. Is it 300 or 500 feet? 500 feet. If you know how tall they are, it's too close.
So, I understand the rules about the 500, but I think there needs to be some legally, statistically great work. I do feel that a lot of it needs to be brought back to Carlsbad. That's why we're doing this, right? Is because overall feedback, right? So a lot of reasons it's not really the case. The noise, the distraction, so the healing aspect of it is something. So the development and things like gas fires, things of that nature should be a way for us to balance the element of business and the human aspect of the remote.
All right, we're going to start with Mr. Griffin. What do you feel can be done to address homelessness in Carlsbad?
Homelessness is a problem that will be with us. I don't think we'll ever get rid of it. And I think the best way to deal with it is private charity. We have actually several organizations in Carlsbad that do help the homeless. And I believe that we should encourage more of that effort, because anytime the government goes in, it actually squeezes out private efforts. So the more money is being used for it, the more other people will say, well, we're already paying for it through our taxes, so why should we do anything about it? I think private charity is much more effective and also much more moral.
Mr. Walter, same question.
What I feel about homelessness, the state has got to do more about mental health. Mental health is a huge issue. And the majority of these people walking our streets, it's mental health issues. We know this, and we need to do a better job of dealing with mental illness and all. And I think Lifehouse has done a great job, and so has the Hope Center. Hope Center's been good. But I think that the state needs to pony up and do a lot more than what they've done. And that's where I'm at. Until that happens, and I understand they took it all away at one time, and we're trying to get all that back. But it's mental illness, and until we fix that, that's where it's all at. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez?
Sure, the services are a major aspect. Now, we're always going to have this branch of state and federal laws and all these different things, but if the city wants to address it, they can do services. It's grant, state grants, there's even federal level grants for mental health, opening clinics, like you mentioned, using things like Lighthouse. Those are great programs, as long as they're limited, and they're doing a lot of like. So in turn, the city were able to allocate a small area just to make sure that this resources, not only from the current budget, but finding these extra grants that are out there in order to address mental health, drug use, things that are abused, and bringing these services in, making them more streamlined, more accessible, would allow us to do that homelessness.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Mr. Rodriguez, same question.
Yes, homelessness is a problem that is now, has been, and will be in the future. I agree with that. But we do have some plans that we've implemented. Our police force has dedicated 84 man-hours between the dates of July 24th and August 17th for a total of 84 person-hours dedicated to the operation. In dealing with the panhandling, and we had 23 warnings for panhandling. We had 3 citations for panhandling. We had 7 warnings for criminal trespass, 4 arrests for criminal trespass. We had other law enforcement action. The biggest part of that being a drive-by. And after they see that we're serious about them not doing what they're doing, as soon as they see a police car in the neighborhood, they fold up their sign and they walk on. They get on. And I agree that the biggest thing here is mental.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Next question, we'll start with this one. In the past few months, it's not a conflict, this is all that this department feel like they reached a boiling point. What is your understanding of the situation? Is it being remedied or not? How should we comment?
Okay. I have, as a counselor, I'm one of 8. I felt I had done my best to address the issue to the higher ups in the city, talking to different people within the city and trying to find what was really going on. If there was still an issue, is there not an issue? I was told that the issue is resolved and it takes time to get through where we're at to a better way, you might say. But for what I understand, the city is on the mend. I'm hoping that's true. I've been told that's the way it is, and I believe it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Happy to. We will not start from talking about another question now. In the past few months, internal conflicts that have brought that police department felt like increased a boiling point at least with the public. What is your understanding of the situation? Is it being remedied, or if not, how should it?
So, the police department, obviously, like any police department, is always going to have issues. So, obviously, the city is actively trying to address it. They don't do it, they're trying to ignore it by any means. The problem is that these lawsuits are always going to occur. It's kind of a complex situation because this is in its own right. So, this scenario, I believe that they are major as police. They need to be relieved, they need to be well trained, because that's their job.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, policing is a very stressful profession. You have to be trained, you have to be certified, and you have to make life decisions just in a fraction of a second. But I do believe that our police force is on the mend. I just want everyone to understand this is not unique to Carlsbad. It's nationwide. It's in every city. It's in every state. Police officers are hard to find. But we are on the mend. We currently have 42 patrol officers, 3 captains, 6 lieutenants, 11 sergeants, 6 detectives, 8 SRO officers, 5 of whom are on a grant which was mentioned during the school board portion of that. That's money that the city of Carlsbad not having to put out. The grant is through the school, and we are the flow through. But we have 23 in our dispatch. We have 17 dispatchers and 6 supervisors with 2 BPA assistants thrown into the mix. So we are on the mend. We are.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad the 2 incumbents got to talk before me, so I feel less like an idiot for not knowing much about it, because I know only what was written about in the paper. And when I tried to find out more, I couldn't really. Nobody really told me. I think it is amazing that the incumbents have that little substantive to say about it. If I am elected to the city council, I will certainly try to be better informed.
All right, this next question, we are going to start with Mr. Ramirez. Carlsbad is a busy town, and the need for road repairs is ongoing. How can the city of Carlsbad accelerate road repairs on its streets? How can the city encourage the state to do the same?
So we're very much here to government that handles these types of things. And the problem is that you start to mention we've all seen this approach. I'm not here to say that's bad, but it does take more strategic planning. So trying to get more of the forward-thinking versus trying to catch us on like right now, we have when it's their Q1 bids. We know how much time is left on giving out for different things. And with that being said, knowing how much money is going to start planning ahead, but instead, because we're doing very good actors, we're trying to fix all those efforts there instead of improving the quality of the original road that was being done. So I think the overall approach should be ahead of the curve versus trying to react using different businesses.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, we do have a very vital part of our city administration, which is the road department. They do annual evaluations. They sweep the entire city, and we do our level best to identify those streets most in need and try to address the same number of streets, the same number of miles in each of the 4 wards, so that everyone is represented. We're not going to leave anyone out. We try to distribute the wealth as best we can. And if a road is especially bad, of course, we're going to take care of it. But we are doing everything we can to do that equally and equitably as possible throughout the city of Carlsbad.
Thank you, Mr. Beck.
I'm not sure distributing the money evenly in the 4 wards does the job. I think it should be prioritized based on hazards identified, for example, and attempts to correct it. I think the city budget has been increasing from year to year. It's now, I believe, on the order of $150 million a year. So maybe if there is some priority identified for taking care of a public safety issue, then maybe some of that money needs to be allocated to the actually urgent problems. I should emphasize, though, that really there are even more significant problems, such as taking care of our preborn children, and the fact that nobody has asked about that, I think, speaks volumes about the priorities. We really need to change our priorities in this town.
Mr. Beck. Mr. Waltersheim.
Yes, as far as the city and the funding that we have and that we get, the funding that we have, I'm sure I've noticed that the city does a really good job of divvying out to the different neighborhoods and the different wards the road repair that they do. They do that slurry, thing that they've done through the years, and that seems to be been a good fix for the most part. And beyond fixing water leaks, I noticed on A Street they have a lot of problems there. Always. But anyway, we really need to petition the state for the main highway, which is Canal Street, which is our artery that goes through the city. And between traffic lights and making the street maybe wider, maybe more, find other ways to get through the city, because our city is growing. And I think a lot of people have noticed that. So,
thank you, Mr. Walter. All right, we are going to start with our direct questions now. Johnny?
All right, for a reminder, you will 1 minute for response to a direct competitor in your ward with 30 seconds below if they choose. First question for you, Mr. Rodriguez. Let's talk about your current working relationship with Mayor Lopez since the past election. Where do you agree and where might you have a difference of opinion on that?
We talk often. I have a very good working relationship with him. There's no animosity between us. There was none before. There won't be any after. I think we have a very good working relationship. He's asked me to spearhead a couple of different projects for him. If I see a problem or if there's a question that I need answered, I can go directly to him, and he's more than willing to provide me an answer if he has it. If not, he'll go find it and bring it back to me. So I believe we have a very good relationship, and the election had no bearing on that. There were two good men running. A good man won and a good man lost.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, would you like a 30-second vote on that?
Alright, this next question is for Ivan Ramirez. Please explain your decision to run for city council. With several family members employed by the city, how would you address potential conflicts of interest?
So, he goes to my work for the city, which makes me more invested in this. Conflicts of interest, obviously, I don't oversee certain aspects of living in that neighborhood. The goal is to launch what I want to happen to people. And that benefits everyone, including myself. So, conflict of interest wise, I worked in various departments where I did schools, always interest because it's not doing your job, it's not allowed to serving your home.
Mr. Rodriguez, would you like a 30-second rebuttal?
No. Thank you.
This next question is for Mark Walter. Mark, your family has ties to landscaping companies for some competition with other companies called that for city contracts. How do you handle potential conflict of interest in the past?
I do as anybody else on the council would do. If there's a conflict, we remove ourselves from the room when there's any kind of vote. We've done that in the past, and I think that's worked very well. I don't get any consideration from any staff that's any different from anybody else, and I think that's fair. It's just being fair. I think I'm being fair about it, and that's what it's all about. So, thank you.
Would you like 30 seconds to rebut that?
Just very shortly, I have absolutely no conflict of interest. I'm retired. I don't depend economically on anybody else. I would only suggest that whoever has a potential or apparent conflict of interest excuse himself or herself, not only from the vote, but maybe from the entire discussion about that particular subject that might potentially benefit them.
All right, this next question will go to Mr. Rubio. Your campaign platform has focused almost exclusively on the abortion issue, and your desire is that the city add a tougher ordinance permitting abortion. If you were successful in getting such an ordinance to pass, what would be your next step as a city councilor?
My next step would be to actually bring before the council again the resolution to pass an ordinance just like our neighbors to the east have done, and that is Hobbs, Roosevelt County, Lee County, etc. And these resolutions have made it impossible for abortion outfits to establish themselves there. There was one in Hobbs and it failed. I have gone before the City Council and the County Commission and given them copies of these ordinances and have urged them to do the same, and they have done absolutely zero. We are a state that is red with the blood of the preborn that are being murdered at the rate of about 21,000 children. We have more abortions than live births in the state of New Mexico right now. And our governor would love to have another abortion mill paid for with taxpayers' money right here.
Mr. Waltershed, would you like 30 seconds for rebuttal?
Sure. From what I understand, the state of New Mexico, the Supreme Court of the state of New Mexico has ruled that we cannot do what those counties did. So we have to address it a different way or change what the state did. So there's no point at this point. I agree with Mr. Rippey. It's a huge subject, but politically, you can't do anything. Thank you.
We're going to move into some audience questions.
Could I have a rebuttal?
No.
No. Okay, thank you.
This question is for Mr. Rodriguez. How come the West Loop doesn't connect to Commerce Drive with a wide enough street? Right now, there is a very sharp curve leading into Corrales Road.
There was a discussion, I think I know where this question came from. There was a discussion when that was going in, and the city of Carlsbad would have preferred that to go to Commerce. There was discussions with the county that decided that it would go into Corrales Road instead. I would like to, as we were discussing just a few minutes ago, look to see what we can do about restructuring that intersection at Corrales and Commerce coming off of the west. We can see if we can't do something. But Commerce is a wider road. I think it would better benefit the industries that are going to frequent the industrial park there. So I think that's something that we need to look at.
This next question is from the audience for Mark Waltershed. What municipal committees do you serve on? Please describe the importance.
I serve on the Chamber of Commerce. That's one of the main ones I serve on, and it's very fulfilling. You learn a lot about what's going on within the city and what they do. But that's one of the main ones I serve on. So that's my main one. Thank you.
This is one of the audience for every candidate we have. I believe the order is Mr. Rippey on this one. What's being done to encourage economic vibrancy in the Main Street area? What support is available for businesses in this area? One name, please.
I'm actually or paid for a membership in the Department of Development, so there's a lot of work happening there. I've attended their board meetings as long as they allow non-members to attend. They changed that policy lately. So I'm quite cognizant of what is happening, and I believe the Department of Development is doing some decent work. I think there are some ways to improve the cooperation, especially with the Department of Development and the city. There used to be an ordinance at one time that regulated that, and that was just fairly recently discarded without much discussion. I believe we need a heck of a lot more transparency about what the relationships are between the city government and the Department of Development as well as the Chamber of Commerce. We need to know how much of the money these organizations spend is.
Mr. Waltershed, what's being done to encourage economic vibrancy in the Main Street area? What support is available for businesses in that area?
The Department of, I misspoke earlier. I am a member of the Department of Development plus the Chamber of Commerce, and both of those groups strive to stimulate industry and growth in our city, and I think that's important. Both of those do that. The Department of Development went through a lot of turmoil in years past. I think we're on a better road now, and we have people in place that are really promoting the city and making it a much more vibrant place. And that's, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rivers, would you like to go? All right, what is being done to encourage economic vibrancy in the Main Street area? And what support is available for businesses in this area?
So in the Main Street area, I know, they have things like lots of time people so in an area, there's different types of programs, there's grant funding, but these they are located, they're trying to build up that area better, they're using parts of culture along the library, build that area to be more livable, more focused, and develop the whole products. Because in Michael, there are no these like farmers markets, these reading, crafts.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, I think that we're doing as good a job as we can do right now. We do have Main Street. I commend them immensely for the work that they've done, bringing vitalization into the existing businesses. I also serve on the Department of Development Board, and once again, they are pushing to get new businesses into town. We have a couple of empty buildings we'd like to have filled, but we have to have them come. We can't just fill them ourselves. We are implementing our code enforcement on buildings, cleanliness, and signage. And just as a positive, I just point to Cavern Fest, the Farmers Market, like I said. The Cavern Theater, if you haven't been to the Cavern Theater, please go there. We have movies there. We have just all kinds of stuff going on downtown. We're not where we would like to be, but we're on the way. We could use some help, so come push forward. Come on.
Thank you. This question is for Mark Walterscheid. Has the city admin decided on the final design for building project playgrounds?
Say that again.
Has the city admin decided on the final design for rebuilding project playgrounds?
That is a very good question. I'm a lot of times in these projects, unfortunately, I'm kind of the last to know on some of these projects, and we're talking about Project Playground, right, by the rec center, right? I know Ann Most, and Ann Cross was on that committee, and we caught her one day as we were having kids go into that project or that area, and it's still a great place to go. And I don't know where the city is. I've not asked that question lately, so I will. Thank you.
This question is for all of you, and we'll go over closing statements after this. So I live in a very popular town, just out of bounds for city council. They listed Sandy Church. There is a lot of speeding on this road. What can be done to slow the cars down? Mark, we'll start with you.
Okay. As anyone that knows me, I highly, I do not like speed bumps. That is a no-go for me. There's too many in this town right now, and I will never promote a speed bump. I will promote the city putting, they have those monitors that can detect speed, and it has cameras on it, and it can tell what car has been going through. I don't know. They're there right now. It's for those of you that didn't know it. But if you have somebody in your neighborhood that is continually speeding, they put these in your neighborhood, and they can tell what cars they are, and the cops will follow them at some point in time later and deal with it. So there's a good way to do this electronically. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez.
I agree with that, it's still my but traffic cams have a pretty simple solution going on, and if it's at the edge of the seaward, putting it right off the seaward, seaward, you should be able to get it, and if it takes care of that along it, you should move along with that. We see the road. We have a decent sized police force, that traffic cam right there, snaps a picture of the license plate, and it'll actually send its own ticket. So it's going to be simple, good solution, nice and feasible, and overall, should actually probably make this thing.
I agree with Councilor Walterscheid. We tried everything under the sun. We've done speed bumps, stop signs, three-way. We've discussed roundabouts. But the bottom line is we're talking about humans. Most of the people that drive through our neighborhood are going to adhere to those, especially if you live in that. But there's some people that no matter what, they're gonna have that lift. They're gonna mash that thing down, and they're gonna run that black smoke out of that big diesel they got this Christmas. And unfortunately, the worst part of that is that it's human. Humans are involved, and anywhere we have humans, we have situations.
We need to have speed bumps for abortionists, that's for darn sure. And I think we need to actually change our attitude toward the state. It was mentioned earlier that we need to petition the state. We are the sovereign. And those people in Santa Fe and other places, they are working for us. We don't need to petition. We need to demand. And if they require and mandate us to do things that are immoral and actually criminal, then we need to say no. And that is what our eastern neighbors did. Regardless of what the New Mexico Supreme Court ruled, these ordinances that our eastern neighbors implemented, they are still preventing abortionists from establishing themselves over there. We need to grow a spine.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move into our closing statements. We're going to start with Ward 1. So, Reddy Rodriguez, your closing statement in 2 minutes.
I seek your support this November 4th. Actually, you go vote today. It opens up today. But as the incumbent, I want to continue to guide the city of Carlsbad in this time of unprecedented growth based on the Harmony Basin, everything that's going on in there. The budget was mentioned earlier. So has Carlsbad, and it's just inevitable. As one grows, so will the other. We need to continue to keep Carlsbad as close to being the city that will get the next generation back to raise their own families. We'll never be Mayberry again, but we can be pretty darn close. We can still be a good place to be. A few of the things that I would like to continue that we're on now, and I would like to continue is to make sure that Carlsbad doesn't just grow so that we can control our infrastructure, we can control our developments in different areas, and make sure that zoning is appropriate in all of those areas. We need to look at housing. Housing is critical, but right after housing is water. Water is the one thing in this area that's more precious than oil. We need to protect that water. We need to implement in place and maintain our utility infrastructure, use our water efficiently, and maintain lines, sewers, wastewater treatment plants. We are building redundancy into our waste treatment so that we can do routine maintenance without having to shut the system down. We're able to shut down half of it, keep everything running while we maintain the other half. Use our affluent water for economically feasible to save our drinking water. We need to support housing development, provide housing attainable by varied income levels. We need to support infrastructure to support these homes, ensure city services are available to everyone in Carlsbad. We will continue to work closely with Eddy County to offer services to all amenities, police, and fire. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, your closing statement in 2 minutes.
Please. No, I'm kidding. The big thing is, so what Carlsbad's going, and we almost go back and want to say, hey, I remember this 1950s, it's not that. A lot of Carlsbad is reflect what we were. Things that are still going on is the fact that, also because of that, so ideas I'm really trying to promote being ridiculous, like traffic police, things like AI, matching progress with creative planning versus big street. We should now get to figure out all the dynamics, right? And I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to bring fresh eyes, right? Long previous experience. But I think that's more true. Looking at Carlsbad through different eyes now, and doing that, it does get that question. It gives an ability to see things and not say. People who do this here, it's great, it's wonderful. At the same time, things often it's cycling in that dependency. And I'm here to try to challenge that and promote my kids, not to say it was doing bad, but to say that, hey, we're doing great. Only need to improve that. So just some fresh eyes here It seems to be locally,
Thank you.
For Ward 4, for closing statements, we're going to start with Mark Walter, 2 minutes.
Okay. The one thing that I think is most important for the next term, I think, is water. Just as Eddie said, water is a precious commodity we have here. And from the Tatum water fields that we're trying to bring in so that the city of Carlsbad can grow, to the Sheep's Draw water fields there, the next time we come up for a vote, I'm going to say no to any more drilling in that area. I think it's too important of a resource to drill through it. I don't care how many layers of protection they put down. If you ever ruin that water resource, we are in big trouble. And I don't think we've really thought that through. Even though they triple protect it, quadruple protect, I don't care. It's too big a resource, and we got to really watch that. The next thing is the river. You know, my field is in agriculture. The river grows things, and we have a real problem down there. And I want to be sure that we take care of that problem. I told our administrator that we need to have a plan in place before January 1st. When they drain that river, I want a plan. I want to know that we're going to go in and we're going to fix this once and for all. We're not going to hear about algae or pondweed that we have a problem with. I don't want to hear that anymore. I think my background, I can monitor what they're going to do, what they recommend. I know herbicides just as good as anybody else, and my friend Woods Houghton would agree with that. So I think between those things, and also one other thing, I want to establish a thing with the mayor to address people that are afraid of this oil well drilling. We need to have a mayor's meeting every quarter, I would think, so that they can address their issues to him and have the oil representatives there. Thank you.
Who will drink the water? That'll be the next generation. If we kill it off, who will be there? Today is the anniversary of the Hamas massacre. In New Mexico, we have a state government that is the equivalent of what Hamas is to the Jews, is the equivalent of that to the preborn fellow citizens. They will be my constituency, or part of my constituency if I'm elected. I will be their voice. Not only their voice, of course. I'll be the voice of everyone else in my ward and in the city. We need to include them in our discussion, in every item on the agenda. We will not have a future if we kill them off. And I have the experience in all the major industries here in New Mexico, here in Carlsbad and in Eddy County, to actually contribute to the economic and other issues as well. I worked in potash, I worked in petroleum, I worked at WIP. I have experience in all of those. I believe I can be a good representative on the city council, not just for the people of Ward 4, but for everyone in Carlsbad. You know, when I first moved into Carlsbad, I don't think we had wards. And then we instituted that system, and that took basically 80% of the vote away from everyone in Carlsbad. You can vote only for your councilors that live in your ward. I think that is ridiculous. Nobody, hardly anyone, can tell you what ward they live in. I will work to change that.
All of our city council candidates for today's debate, let's give them a round of applause.
Next, we're going to go ahead and move into our uncontested races. We've got two councilors here. We want them to say a few words of their
Steal the water, there we go.
Jen Morris, say a few words about your.
Can we go back here, sit in here? I'll sit in here. But, I'm really people sometimes ask
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. And really government, Carlsbad. Born and raised here. My grandpa was mayor here for 16 years. My kids go to school here. I think Carlsbad's a very good place to live. I've been in Texas, I've been in Arizona, I really think there's that one Carlsbad. And even Carlsbad does have, it's share problems, especially some growing things. I just think it's a great community. People in Carlsbad are some of the most loyal people you've ever met, some of the hard-working people you've met. And I try to run for all Carlsbad, not just awards. I kind of agree with Mr. Ruby on that. Yes, I am Ward 2. What's good, I drive to Ward 1, 3, 4, and we're all the same thing. What's good for Carlsbad, it's good for all. But I serve on the city budget committee. I'm on the Department of Development. I'm a member of Carlsbad Mission and also the Carlsbad Foundation. Last time I ran in New York, I actually both ran against people last time, and now we're unopposed. So it's kind of funny. Sometimes that's the way it goes. But I'm real proud when I think about the last term on city council. I think we did some good things. Really when I was thinking about some of the things that I'm most proud of, I'm proud of the process management. A lot of people didn't want us to do that. A lot of people complained. A lot of people said we trained us in California. It's just been a big success. I've had family members come from out of town that have been called all just say how clean it was. I don't think it's any big deal going to Walmart. Ralph's a great place to take back. I think our community is so much better. And I think we should take pride in that. For a lot of years, I thought when it was plastic bags, taxes, people living. A lot of times it's just stuff blowing out of dump trucks or blowing in a trash can. I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of some of the roads we fixed in our town. I know Eddie touched on this, but we go through we fix up roads that are over there. We don't want to just turn over Carlsbad, south Carlsbad. There's roads all around town that we fix. And we fix up quite a few. And literally this kind of topsoil, they go there now in a couple days. Coming up from the mine to Peach Street, Riverside Drive, Country Club Circle, Mason Street as well. We can get in and out and really fix up our road. I think the beach is first class, and we've done a great job. We built pickleball, we redone the red, we built walkways to go across. I don't think our beach is more race than I'm serious. Am I running low on time? I want more affordable housing.
Thank you, Jeff. Uncontested in Ward 2, and we have Ms. Carlin Niemeyer, who is uncontested in Ward 3.
Thank you, Jeff. That was great. So straight from the heart and everything on. So I am Carlin Niemeyer, and I'm officer of the City Councilor for Ward 3. And I want you to know that I work to support for all the residents. And the fact that we're called a ward, I think that needs to change. Such a silly thing. We need to do districts to match with the state, because I know all the councilors here at the Carlsbad district are there. I'm like, sorry, you won't agree. But anyway, that's just a little silly thing. During our first term, I supported housing initiatives to help meet the needs of our growing community, which we talked about some of this, how they were growing. And I want to continue to see these efforts come to fruition. I've also supported economic growth, working closely with the Carlsbad Department of Development, which is in the topic tonight, with our new leader, Mr. Philip. Throughout my work, I've created a priority to listen to the residents. I don't care about where they live in. I want to hear everybody's voice, and I want them to talk to me and tell me their thoughts on the aspect, even when I agree with Jeff. As he was said. Hopefully, y'all have noticed that the City of Carlsbad Medical Center has made some improvements, have invested in the community. They're doing some of they're reinvesting some of the big money that they're getting from us as citizens and putting it back into the hospital. In my next term, I'm going to continue guiding Carlsbad growth in a positive direction. We would need to continue with the housing efforts, economic development, and opportunities for new industries. While also ensuring our hospital experience programs for our veterans and for mental health, which also came up with the homeless and the need for mental health. I'm honored to serve as the city councilor, and I look forward to continuing this work with all of you. I also want to encourage everyone to make their voice heard by participating in our election. If you don't want to vote for me, just don't vote, because I'm going to be the only one without one ballot. But if you don't want to vote for me, that's okay. But I just encourage you to vote. But I really appreciate your votes. And thank you for your time and your attention. It's been a long night, week for everyone. And I'm happy to answer any questions after all of this. Thank you.
I wanted to just echo what Carla said here. Former city councilor at a time of time once ran and said at a forum, if you don't vote, you can't complain. So please be sure if you're not registered to vote, you can do so on Monday, just to get another report or do it as again and fill out the papers.
Thank you again to Southeast New Mexico College, Carlsbad Local, Rocky Media, and Women for the Carlsbad Process. Thank you very much.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.